Hello everyone, welcome back again. My name is Jesse, and in today's tutorial, we're building a simple basic app with all that we have learned in this tutorial concerning natural language processing with TextBlob. So this is the app we'll be trying to build. So when I paste in a test, which is a definition of natural language processing, and I submit it, to take some time to analyze it. So after analyzing, it's going to give me the main points about it as well as the sentiment, right? Perfect. So it has finished analyzing. So this is the test. So this test has 37 tokens with 8 important points. Then this is the test, natural language processing, the definition, and then the time it took to analyze, which is so much, that is 30 seconds, almost 30 seconds. Wow. Okay, so it is an important point. So this test is about areas, natural languages, intelligence, processing. So if I see this and I don't understand it, I can just click on this view. Then it's going to automatically open a dictionary, an online dictionary, and give me a definition. So this is the definition: a language used as a native tongue by a group of speakers, that is natural language, right? Okay, so again, it also gives me the polarity. So what is the polarity? So we have the sentiment for 0, well, a negative polarity, and then the subjectivity is 0.44, which is trying to compare that. So let's see another example, right? So we go back to reset it back to the normal, and then let's use this one, right, which is about the Avengers that everybody finished watching, right? So this is somebody's opinion about it. So Avengers Infinity, we're going to submit it. So it'll take some time to analyze. Perfect. So it has finished analyzing. So this test has 22 tokens with 3 important points, right? So the Avengers, if this is a test, it was incredible. The plot was awesome, but they caught us all by surprise, right? It looks like Thanos won the battle. So this is the seconds it took. And then this is the test. The test is about plots, wars, and battles. So that is the main thing. So let's check the sentiment. So the sentiment score is the 1.0, which is a very high positive polarity, and the subjectivity is also very high. That means that it's actually a fact, right? It's very true. Okay, according to this person. So now let's see how to build this particular app in this tutorial. So I'll set up straight away. So go to our file. I'm going to create a folder, right? So open, I'm going to create a new folder, and then the name of the folder is going to be, going to our desktop. So I'm going to create a folder. The name of this folder is going to be my NLP app, right? So okay, so now let's try and build this app. So since we are using Flask, so first of all you have to import Flask. So I'll go here. If you don't have Flask, you can just import it with this format. So going to be pip install Flask, right? Then you also need Flask bootstrap, and then TextBlob. So these are the requirements that we need. So if you don't have it, you can just install it already. So I already have it, so we just move straight away to it. First of all, we create our first file. It's going to be our app.py, where all the logic is going to be for our app. So my NLP app, and then I'm going to create the first one, which is going to be app.py, right? So this is where we're going to get. We're going to create another folder inside our folder. So open, and then create another folder. This folder is going to be our templates, right? Perfect. So that is it. So here we're going to create another file called our index. Inside our template, with a file called index.html. That's going to be our view. Perfect. So now we are done with it. So now let's see what to do. So I'll import all the things that I need for the Flask. So from Flask, import Flask, and then request we importing render templates, and then we will import our request as well as a URL for, right? That is the main thing we'll be importing for this our app that we are building. Okay, so perfect. Then the next thing we need to import is from Flask bootstrap, import bootstrap, right? Perfect. So now we need our NLP packages. It's going to be our TextBlob. So from TextBlob, import TextBlob, just like in the tutorial, TextBlob, and then we will need word for our limit item. So that is all. We can also import random because we'll be trying to do some stuff with it. Okay, perfect. So we are done. So now we have to initialize the app. So app is going to be Flask. Then we go with this, the name, to initialize our app. Then you first of all close our app with this, right? So everything is going to be inside this, and then we're going to create app.run. So here we're going to set it as a debug mode because we are in development mode. So after you are finished, you just change it, right? So true, so that you have to read our comments. Now we are done. So now let's create, since Flask is built on route, let's create our first route. So it's going to be it's a decorator, so app.route. Then it's going to take no argument. It's going to take 1 for our index. Then we're going to define it as div index. Then we define our first function. We're going to return render template, right? So here we're going to return our index.html. It's going to be our first. So let's create our index.html. So let's put something simple, HTML, and I'm going to go to NLP app, right? And I'll put something here. So div class container, because we have not already created it, but we will do that anyway. So let's put as h2, and then we call it natural language. So let me copy it and paste so that it's fast. Okay, so this here, right? Okay, perfect. So now we are done. So let's run our app here. So inside our folder, you see that we have our app.py. So Python, then app.py. Hope it doesn't give us any error. Let me reduce this one down so that it will not be conflicting with what you're supposed to be doing. But everything is well. Perfect. So since this is still loading, let me close this out file. Whilst it's loading, let's try and build our bootstrap. So to add our bootstrap, first of all, you have to initialize our bootstrap around it. So bootstrap, then pass it around our app, right? Perfect. So that's going to be the first thing to do. So let's see whether it's reading. Okay, it is reading. So we're going to copy this one here and then paste. Perfect. So now natural language processing, which was written here, is actually being seen, right? It's working perfectly. So now our app is working. So that is the most important thing. Now let's try and bring our bootstrap inside. So there's one thing to bring for the bootstrap. You're going to have to extend it. So you extend it with this. Then this is going to be our ginger. Let's create 2 gingers. So this one for the first one, and then we're going to create another ginger below, and then the last one here, right? Okay, so here I'm going to call it as extend, then bootstrap, right? Bootstrap, then base.html. That's what will be important to be able to extend whatever thing from the bootstrap, so that you use the bootstrap straight away without any issues. Then I'm going to call it as my block content. Perfect. So since I'm bringing a block content here, then I have to also bring an end content, end block, right? So I can just take off this, let's take off this, and then let's take off this, right? Perfect. So to see that the bootstrap is working, let's add some jumbotron. So div and class jumbotron and test center. So let me paste this one here. Let's see whether it's going to work. Save it, and let's see whether it's going to work, right? So bootstrap, everything is working. Hope it doesn't give us any error. It's not detecting any error. Perfect. So the bootstrap is working well. So now we are done with the bootstrap. Now we know that our bootstrap is going to work. So now let's see the next thing we can do. So the next thing we are going to do is try to get a test area, right? So let's try and bring the test area, which is going to be very important. So you do a basic one, then you add a bootstrap later. So test area, right? And then let's first of all create a form. So form, and then this form is going to go with the test area, right? So the form will take an action. So action, not accept action. An action where we're going to put something there, and then our method. So our method is going to be a post method. Perfect. So let's give this form our ID. So ID is going to be my form, right? Perfect. So this is the test area. This is where we're going to place all the logic. So the most important thing is the name, because that's where we're going to put our test. So the raw test is going to be bound. Whatever we're going to place inside the test area will be bound to this raw test, right? To be stored inside this raw test and then bound to the name to be sent to our app for it to be analyzed. So let's create a row of 3 and then a column of, let's say, 3, right? So perfect. Now the next thing, let's add some bootstrap stuff. So to add a bootstrap, let's call it as class form control. Perfect. So if you save it and then you run it, it's going to work. But before then, let's add something for the form action. So I'm going to call it as URL for, right? And I'm going to pass in a function called analyze. We have not defined it yet, but you define this one. So whatever thing that will be stored here will be sent via post to this place, right? So we'll be creating this one inside our app. So let's add another thing too for it. Let's add an input, and the input is going to be our submit, and then the name. We're going to give it a name. Let's give it a value. The value is going to be submit. Perfect. So this is going to be, let's give it a class for the button. So btn primary, right? Okay, perfect. So now we are done. Now let's see how to add the remaining logic. So we're going to go with app.wrap up. Let me copy this one and paste. It's better anyway. So copy this and then I'm going to paste as same thing. Perfect. Here is we're going to put our analyze. So analyze is going to be the route, and then we're going to change this one to analyze. Perfect. So now we are done with whatever thing that is going to be there. So let's save it and see whether it's going to work. Let's refresh it. There's no errors. It's detecting the changes. So there was no error. Perfect. Now it's working well. So you see that when you check it, it's working. The test area is there, right? Let's reduce the test area. So perfect, is working. So I think the best way is for us to put this one inside a container. So let's put a cut and paste it inside. Put a container around it. So div class container. Then I'll paste what I cut there, so that it gives us a very nice look. So now we are done with most of the app. So the next thing we are going to do is how to receive those things back here. So let's first of all do the main thing about it. So since we now know how to submit it, let's create another file, another button to reset it, and then another one for clearing. So this is going to be our clear button, clear, and then this I'm going to make it sort of, let's make it btn outline primary, right? So that it looks different from the previous one. That's going to be for our clear. So I'm going to call it as reset, so that it automatically reset it. This is normal HTML5. Then we're going to create another button which is going to reset it. Well, so using a link to do that, that's another way to do that. So I'm going to call this as reset, right? And this one is going to be called as clear. So what I'm going to put here is that I'm going to put the same URL here, but I'm going to redirect it to the initial index function, so that it will restart everything again. So instead of this being analyzed, I'm going to put it as index. So this index here refers to the index in the app function app.py here, right? Perfect. Okay, so we are done. Let's save this, save it, and let's see whether it's going to work. Perfect. So everything is working. We have our submit, we have our reset. So let me type something. If I type something like say hello and I click on declare, oops, I placed something wrong. See what I did. Type reset, value clear, class btn. Oh, see, reset. See what I did. I wrote rest and this is not the rest API. Okay, let's add a button to this one, right? So let's add a button. So let's call it as type button. Then we can even put a class there, like another class, which is going to be class should we make, instead of primary, let's make it danger. And then this one will take the normal one. So that's working here. The research is there, and then this one is working perfectly. So since as is loading, let's try and see something. So the important thing now to do is that we are done with this, right? We have done with the form. Now let's see how to add the rest to it. So to add the rest to it, we'll first of all finish with our analysis here. So what we're going to do is that we're going to post everything that you do here, where the logic is, where the analysis is actually going to be done. So we'll be using all those we did in the TextBlob tutorial inside this place. So first of all, we go with, we're going to have to apply a method, right? So the method is going to be methods. Then we're going to supply it as post. You can use post and get. All of them is going to work. Then here we're going to go with, so if the request method, request dot method is equal to post, right? Then do these things. So then receive the raw test that we had. We are calling to register the same thing, and then we are going to get from the form this our raw test, the raw test we had from in the test area, this raw test here, right? This raw test that has been bound to the name, we are receiving it from the form. Perfect. Now since we have been able to do that, we continue with the normal NLP stuff. So NLP stuff, so this is for our NLP. So it's going to be as our blob, it's going to be test blob, which we imported. Then we're going to pass in our raw test. Perfect. Then now we can do any other thing we want to do. So I'll call this one as our receive test. Then I'm going to call it as my blob, right? Perfect. So here I can just put this one here as receive test is equal to receive test. So the first one, so this, let me explain it well. This receive test, right, is the first one is going to my index, right, and the second one is staying here. So the second one refers to that. So I can even make it like, let's make this one as second 2, and then this is going to be 2, so that you see the difference, right? So this is staying here, but this is going to HTML here. So I can put it here. So we have created our form. Let's create another container below, div class container. Then here we're going to create a normal card. We can create a div card, class card, right? Then let's create another div, div. And let me paste my test here. So the test is going to be our, so this is going to be a ginger, then receive underscore test, right, which is referring to this one here. So perfect. So if we save it and then we run it, let's see whether it's going to work. Perfect. So everything is working. Now see that submit clear. So if I type something hello world and I go with clear to clear it, right? So let's paste something nicer. So let me copy something and paste. Let's use something different. something like this, right? Let's paste something. Let's use this copy and let's paste it. I paste it and I submit. Perfect. See that it has come here perfectly, right? It's now working. If I write I love apples, banana, and the rest. So if I click on submit, it's see I love apples, banana, right? It's perfect. So you can reset it, and you see that when you reset it changes, it goes back to the normal one. So now perfect. So now we are done with that. Now let's add all the rest that we had to add. So the thing that you need to add is we need the sentiment and then we need the number of tokens. So we go with this function. So from here we can just call it as blob sentiment and then blob polarity, no, subjectivity, right? Subjectivity. Then I'm going to equate it as blob dot sentiment dot polarity polarity, and then blob dot sentiment dot subjectivity. Perfect. So now we are done with the subjectivity stuff. We can also do for the number of tokens. So to get the number of tokens, we can just go with number of tokens. And it's going to be our blob that we had. Then we're going to find the list of them. So dot where's, it's going to tokenize them. Then let's pass them inside a list and then a length to measure the number. Perfect. So now we are done with some path. So we can just add this one here. Can pass in this our number of tokens, and then let's equate the number of tokens, and then the same thing is going to be for our polarity and sentiment. So here, right? So let me equate it to this. The blob sentiment is going to be here, and then the blob subjectivity is going to be subjectivity. You have to understand that I'm just naming it so that it becomes easier for you, right? So we have no mistakes. So we are going to be using these ones, all these things we have done inside our app. So let me copy this one inside our HTML, right? Inside our place. So we have our receive test. Now let's create another one. We create a horizontal bar. Then let's call it as P or score. Then you can create a table. You can create a table to put that inside, but you put that later. So I'm going to go with this 2, 3. And let me put a bracket around it so that you see what we are doing. So now perfect. So if I come to here and save it and let's run, I hope it doesn't give us any error. It's detecting the changes, it's loading. So if you come back to here, so everything is working well, it's loading. Perfect. So we have the score here, we have a line here, so we can just paste in something. So let's paste in something different. Let's paste in anything that you want, right? We will still paste in our challenges anyway. Just want you to get the concept. So here, when I submit it, it has analyzed it, has given us this challenge, given us the 13, which is the number of tokens, and then the polarity 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So we can actually put it here. So our app is fully functional. So now the next thing we are going to do is just to get the important point. So we can just put it here as this. Let me copy the table, the normal table, and put it inside, right? Okay, so I've pasted the table here so that it looks nice, right? Nice. Okay, now the next thing that we need to do, since we are done, the next thing we need is how to get the main points. So we are done with almost most of them. We're going to create a simple way of extracting the important points using the nouns, right? The noun phrases. So it's going to be like nouns. We're going to initialize as a list. Okay, so to save time, let me copy it and paste, right, so that it becomes faster. Perfect. So we are going to initialize a list, an empty list, nouns, and then you're going to loop through the block the tags, which is going to fetch all the tags. So if the tag is a noun, then append it to our folder, right, to our nouns list, but limitize it, like get the lemma of that word and then add it to our nouns list. Then we check for the length of the nouns. We're going to sample it perfectly. Let me bring it up. Going to sample it, and then we are going to loop through our sample, pluralize it, and then append it to a final word and move on. So this thing here is just for the time. So you can just add our time here by importing time. So let's call it as import time, right? And then we are going to initialize a start time because this is an end, so we need to get a start at the beginning of our function. We can put the start anywhere. Perfect. So start is equal to time dot start. This is just a normal function to help us to calculate the time. Perfect. Now we are done with most of them. So the next thing is to import all these things. So we will need to import the summary, and then we need to import the final time here, right, inside our test. So let's do that. So what we need is our summary, is equal to summary, and then our final time is equal to final time. Perfect. So we are done with most of them. So let's see, is there anything that we can add? Let's save it, because sometimes it can give us unbound lookout error which is one of the most dangerous, like very tiring stuff. So now since we have got the test, we can also create another div here, right? Let's create another div here. Inside this div, let's call this as our class card body. I don't know whether there is something called card body, but I think there is. Then we're going to place in a loop, right? So this is going to be our loop. So it's going to be, the normal one is going to be like this: ginger, it's going to be for I in summary. This is the normal Python syntax to do that, right? But here, because we are using Flask, we're using ginger format, so it's going to be this and this, and then we must have our ginger format, right? So we're going to loop through this. We have done it, and then we're going to print, say, let's call it as L, not link but L link. I'm going to pass in the I, right? Perfect. So here, and then we're going to close it as, I'm going to close this one with another ginger. So N4, because this is a for loop, right? Perfect. So we are done. Let's see whether our app is going to work. Perfect. Now you see that everything is working perfectly. So now let's paste in something interesting. Let's paste in the normal comment, our favorite comment, which we are using, Avengers. The movie is nice though. It's nice. But I was thinking they're going to kill some Thanos. So let's submit. Hope doesn't give us any error. So it takes some time to analyze. Okay, wow, it's working. Not bad. So this is a test, this is Avengers, and then this is the polarity. Wow, so now we are done with that. So we have been able to build our simple basic app. So now we are free, right? Okay, that is good. So the next thing is just to add beauty to it so that it becomes nicer. So I'll take some time and then add the beauty to it to make it nicer. So the next thing, oh, I forgot one thing. Okay, so the next thing is for us to be able to get access to whatever is being printed out so that we're able to view it on the next website. So this is how I did it. I just go into a normal website like dictionary, right? Dictionary.com, and then here inside dictionary.com, I'll just check for a term. So let's check for something like Python, right? then you check for Julia later. You see that when we check for Python here, it's showing it here, right? Perfect. If you don't, then that is where the query is being placed. Now let's search for another thing. Let's call this one Julia. That the Julia is here, right? So what we are going to do is that we're going to copy this entire stuff, and then we're going to use it inside the app. So it's going to be like this. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to change this place, right? So I'll create a link. I'm going to create another for this one inside here. I'm going to create a link. Inside this link, I'm going to paste in this my normal stuff. Perfect. But here, because from this what we did, realize that there's this place that is changing. So I'm going to take this one off and then put my ginger here. There, what is being iterated inside here. I hope you get the point. Right, I'm going to put it inside here. Perfect. So that everything that is going to move through is going to work on well. Then the next thing, I have to set a target as blank. Blank, whether it's blank like this, I think it's blank like this here. Then I'm going to call this as v. Then I'm going to set it as a button. So type class btn prime, right? And then type, do we even have type? I think we have type. Type is going to be button. Forgotten my CSS. What? Perfect. So now we are done. So now we are done with it. So the main idea is that you first import your packages, then you import your NLP to do the analysis. You initialize your app, and then you pass Bootstrap around it. You first define your first route. Then the most important thing is to create the analysis right function, and then this is what is where the other logic is. So if you're able to receive whatever thing that you created from here, if you're able to receive everything that you're typing from here, that is all. So once you're able to get the text you are placing here, you are typing here with this method, you can do any analysis you want to do on it perfectly, and then it's going to work for you. So this is just the normal NLP stuff we did in the previous tutorial. Okay, so now everything is working well. Let's see whether our test is going to work for the one we did. Works with Google all the time, but Microsoft works with both of them, right? Let's submit and see. Perfect. So that it has analyzed it well. It has given us the sentiment. Perfect. So now let's see. Let's paste it and see. Hope it doesn't give us any errors. Perfect. So now it's working. So I was able to analyze it, giving us this generation. So when I click on it together with the sentiment, right, that is 0.2, 0.66, really not bad. And I click on it, so that it automatically open the generations for us, which is perfectly functional. Okay, so that is good. So now let's add one last thing to it, which I'll just have to paste it because of time. I'm going to paste the loading, right, which is quite simple. So the code will be below so that I can just check it. But now our app is fully functional. Everything is working as it's supposed to work. Okay, so I've pasted it. So now let me explain. So this is going to be the normal styles, right, which is going to give us the animation, which is quite a simple animation, right? Perfect. So we're going to bring this spinner or spinner, which will refer this one inside our content, right, inside our container for the first one, which is this place, right? Main, right? Inside this our main one that you have added to it. This is just normal boilerplate I've added to it. And then there's another thing that you also have to do to allow it to come. You are supposed to paste in a JavaScript. So the JavaScript for it to work is here, right? So this is the script. So there's in the previous one of the tutorials I showed how to add a script. So it's going to be like this. Let me cut this and so that it becomes simple. Look at this one. You need to add a script, you just add block script then super, right? This super is going to prevent it from being overwritten. That is how it is. Otherwise it will not be able to see your function. So this is our function. This is a function that's going to help us with the loading. So this function is to help us reset it on this one, right? And this one we just learned about using the link. And this function, my analyzer function, is going to help us do the reloading to show that spinning bar, right? So first of all, we're going to call normal vanilla query selector, so main.div. So when we click on this, submit, hide everything with the div, right? And then if we click again after some time, bring out everything with this display. So it's just the opposite. This one first, this one first, this one last, right? Just the opposite of it. So the code will be below for you to just work with it. So let's see whether it's going to work. Save it, and then let me run it. Perfect. So now everything is working well, just like we did the previous tutorial. So thank you for watching. Okay, so let's submit the C analysis so that the spanner is working, right? This spanner is from the CSS that we imported from this one here, and then the function here, right? This function. Perfect. So this function was called inside this place, inside our test area. We just place on click on our previous list, just on click and then on function, just to make it be able to produce the result. And the time too, we just place the normal time which we had previously, which is just a normal way of putting things there. Perfect. So thank you for watching, and then please don't forget to subscribe. Stay blessed. So let's see what we had. So this has 15 tokens. Contributions is the only thing there. Oh, polarity is 0.75 and subjectivity is this. So thanks for watching.